it shows that at the end of the day, we can razz each other for being on different shifts and everything else. But when you show up and you see that happen, from my perspective, it was probably one of the coolest things.
Real quick then, start off, name, department you're with, how long you been there, position.
Okay, my name's Matt Legg. I work for Northern Lakes Fire. Been there just 18 years, 2 weeks ago.
Jesus.
Yeah. So Battalion Chief on green shift, and just got promoted about 8 months ago to Battalion Chief.
And you're how old?
43.
43 years old. Dang, man. 18 years, Battalion Chief. That's not very common for Battalion Chiefs to be that young promoted.
It happened pretty quick with us. We had a big change in our department. We had growth through our admin, and actually our last 3 Battalion Chiefs went up to the admin positions. So one took the fire chief spot, and then 2 deputy chiefs, which opened up for their 3 spots. So 3 of us got promoted at the same time. We were all captains together. It was good. It was a good transition. Been real happy with it because it was like-minded. We started together and kind of built this group mentality that, sticking together, same mission, and pushing forward with a lot of growth. Our department's going through tremendous growth right now. So. And
how big is how big of an area do you guys serve?
So we do 106 square miles. We currently have 3 staff stations. We'll open up a 4th next year. So we just brought on 9 new guys for that. We're housing them in our current stations now, but hopefully we'll have a station here to get them into here soon. So.
And for those watching that area, so you're north of Coeur d'Alene, half an hour roughly?
No, so we butt up the Coeur d'Alene Fire, so we share borders with Coeur d'Alene, KCFR. So if you know the area, we cover Hayden, Rathdrum, Twin Lakes, Garwood, and all the areas surrounding that. So we have 2 lakes. We have the big BNSF refueling depot there in Rathdrum. So a lot of different type of calls.
Yeah.
It's kind of all over the board, but we have quite a bit. So we work with Coeur d'Alene and KCFR quite a bit.
And I didn't ask Rusty this, obviously, with KCFR or Justin, but you guys, I can imagine your call volume in the summertime just goes skyrocket with Coeur d'Alene. Because we double in size, Coeur d'Alene?
At least. I mean, so our 3rd station currently is at the Coeur d'Alene Airport. So we have an agreement with Coeur d'Alene Airport, and we're staffed out of there. We run an engine and a tender, and for the summer months with what we believe this summer's going to look like with wildland fires, as we saw, 2 days ago.
That's crazy.
We're running a brush truck out of there for the summer. But, yeah, I mean, that airport, I didn't realize it, but Coeur d'Alene Airport is busy starting May till, September, October, and the amount of private jets coming in, and, I mean, it's constant all day. And that's also where they keep the fire planes. So they have fire bosses out there. They have the retardant. They have a couple helicopters. So it's pretty crazy.
So for those fires yesterday or 2 days ago in the valley, were they all loading up there, retardant and everything out of Coeur d'Alene?
So I would assume they were splitting. Mm-hmm. We live right by the Coeur d'Alene Airport, so we were watching them come in. But, yeah, there's a huge retardant refilling station at Coeur d'Alene Airport, which it's pretty impressive to watch that process. And it's just, I never knew it until I went out and did a stint out at Station 3 when I was a captain. And, they always talked about how busy it was, but until I was actually out there working, it was like, wow, this is impressive.
Dude, it's crazy because when those planes were flying in, I keep referring to it, but we had an open house at our facility a couple days ago, and so we had departments coming through, and Spokane Valley was one of the departments training that day, and so we saw the smoke start happening, and we have, obviously, again, for those watching, we have up in here in North Idaho and then Eastern Washington. We had no snow this year, so we have, the snow levels are down. We started getting some rain here, obviously, in the spring, but it's going to be a crazy fire season here this year. And we just saw it at a windstorm come through a couple days ago, and then we saw a fire kick up, and then those planes, I could have sworn there had to have been at least 10 planes in an hour and a half, which I couldn't even imagine the cost of those things.
It's outrageous. And so I heard they were flying 12 aircrafts, multiple helicopters, multiple planes, retardant, water, and they were filling out of the Spokane River. The helicopters were all day. And, yeah, I think that was a good indication of what's coming this summer. And I mean, unfortunately, it was a bad fire and everything else along with it. But yeah, it's
Some houses went down. I heard like 20, and then there was fires that started kicking up again around you guys because you guys had to send reinforcements, right?
yeah. So we have a mutual aid agreement with Spokane. I could say Spokane County.
Yeah.
They can request a task force from Kootenai County, and each department's responsible for sending one vehicle, and then they come over as a group. And they were here till about 11 o'clock. I heard it was red shift, so they came over. I think that was like about 2 o'clock when that went off,
Yeah.
and then I heard they got about 11 o'clock. They got back, so we've done it multiple times. We'll go north to Shoshone, we'll go south, we'll go east, and it's just an agreement for that initial 24 hours if it's a big fire, because anymore all of us, we don't have the adequate resources that we need for the area we cover. Plus,
Yeah.
911 still happens in the background.
Yeah.
Even when everyone's on this large-scale fire, we still have those calls in the background that are going on. So it's a good agreement. I've been over to Shoshone. It was like 4 or 5 years ago. We went over for that wildfire by the mission. Mm-hmm. We went over for a few hours on that. And so it's just a good agreement to have both ways. And they can come our direction, too, if we need help.
out.
So, yeah.
How does that work for us? I mean, for those not in the industry. So if you're doing on a brush fire or something like that, and you're sending reinforcements in, is it mainly you guys going into neighborhoods to watch for house fires, or are you spreading the perimeter? How does that work? Because I saw a lot of where the trucks were in neighborhoods.
So it's dependent. So it depends what rig you're going on. If you go on a brush truck, in that first part, you're probably going what we call IA, initial attack. If you're going on a structural engine, just your typical big fire truck, you're going to go sit in neighborhoods and, we try to push the fire around, protect as many houses we can while still being safe. I mean, some of those spots you get in, we have to triage it. We go in and we look at how much brush is around the house. Do they have a defensible space? Mm-hmm. And, we have to triage it, and then we report back, we have these houses, they've been evacuated.
Gotcha.
And stuff like that. And then we make a commitment. It's up to the company officer. Yes, we can stay and defend this, or we'll prep it and we're leaving and moving on.
Gotcha.
Because it's dependent. If you get into a neighborhood with 5 houses,
mm-hmm.
it's easier for us to stay and defend. But if you're getting into a heavy populated housing area, it's tough because you don't have enough resources to sit. So you're going to have to choose which ones are the protectable ones and which aren't. So it's not a fun decision.
No, and especially when that wind's kicking at 40 miles an hour like it was. So
yeah, it was ripping. I was pretty impressed how windy it was.
So jumping back on, so have you always been with Northern Lakes then, or were you with the part before that?
So I started as a resident firefighter with Cheney Fire out in Cheney. That's where I started my fire career. Fire service really wasn't in my mind frame back when I was 18, 19. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I was just more into snowboarding, wakeboarding,
my guy,
living that life. And school wasn't my best suit. So I just never really put 2 and 2 together. And luckily I had a family friend who was a captain with Coeur d'Alene. Mm-hmm. Come to find out, when I got hired at Northern Lakes, he was the commissioner at Northern Lakes, but
nice.
He set up a ride along with me. I learned a lot that day. Told me how to cut my hair, get rid of my earrings, pull my pants up. It was real eye-opening for me. And then right after that, I finished at NIC, my associate's degree, because I was close out of high school, and applied for SEC Fire Science program.
Oh, sweet.
Went through that, and my second day there, one of the instructors, so SEC Fire Sciences uses fire department guys to help teach the program. Mm-hmm. They're their main instructor, but then the people that come in and help are from fire departments and teaching the practical side. And I met, he was a battalion chief for Cheney Fire, and he's like, "Hey, we're hiring residents. You want to come be a resident?" And I was like, "What's a resident?" And this is all very new to me. And so went out, applied to be a resident, and then I was a resident out there for 2 years. So that you get paid a monthly stipend. It's not very much, but you live for free in the firehouse. School's priority, and then when you're not at school, you're on shift running calls. That's how they managed to get more staffing. And it's it was probably some of the funnest time in my life. There's 4 of us. We all still talk, we're still buddies. And it's just, I look back and how fun it was to, learned a lot too. I mean, Cheney's a smaller city, if you will, but with the college, they're a busy fire department. So we got a lot of exposure, got thrown to the wolves. You know, it's like, hey, welcome on. Let's start running calls. So,
and there's something like after high school, man, I feel like everyone has to have that experience, whether it's college, whether it's going to something like that, whether it's a trade school, you know. And I'm not saying that college, you know, I'm not one to say like, oh, there's no reason to go to college. There's obviously reasons for it. But for yourself, having that experience after you move out of the house, where like you just go into, whether it's a fire station, you have that time to just kind of be yourself and be on your own. But you're really not, like, you're still kind of have that dependence of your parents maybe helping out a little bit or something. Maybe you didn't have that. But to have that time or those 3 or 4 years that you look back on with like the boys, or, you know, you're going and just enjoying time, that is, in my opinion, it's key to have those years.
I will tell you, I had to grow up super fast.
Yeah.
Like, and the fact of the profession side of it, right?
Yep.
So my first shift there, so residents were responsible for all station chores at night because they worked 24-hour shifts, and so the residents were responsible. And my first shift, they show me the janitor cart, and I'm like, okay, cool. Like, so we get to the bathroom, they walk you through, and I think it's an Epsom stone. And he's like, all right, so every time you clean, you need to use a stone and scrub the urinal. We want them spick and span. And I was like, you're messing with me, right? His name's Ken Johnson. He works for Valley Fire now. And he's like, no, I'm not kidding. And I was like, okay. Like, I'd never known that. I'm like sitting here like, what did I sign myself up for? You know, and you check in and you all share a huge room with Murphy beds. So there's 4 college students on one side, and then there's lockers in the middle, and the career guys were on the other side. And I mean, it was very eye-opening, and, you know, day one, they expect you to be that professional fireman. You know, obviously they know there's a learning curve, but it was fun. Like, it was probably some of my best experience and memories of just living with those 4 guys. And, you know, the 2 of them were going to Eastern, and then the other one was going to fire science with me. So we could commute, hang out, you know, so it was fun.
Are those guys still working with you? Are they still in service around here or no?
So one is a firefighter paramedic on the west side, and then the other 2 are cops. So I just talked to my buddy the other day, and we still give him a hard time for going that route. But
yeah, that's a fun time, man.
Yeah, it was great. And so those 2 years transitioned. I finished my fire science degree, which was awesome. It was a fun program. And then from there, because you had to get your EMT while you were going through that. So it's built for you to come out of the program and be hireable.
Okay. So I know KCFR you have to have your EMT, but you do in Northern Lakes as well?
Yeah, so yes.
Okay.
Technically, yes, but right now we're trying to get some staffing issues fixed with paramedics, and so we run a fire academy. So we're trying to hire paramedics right now, and so we dropped the Firefighter 1 requirement, and through our academy, they will get that. But yeah, so that program sets you up to come out hireable. So finished all that, bounced around volunteering, because once you're out of college, you had to leave the resident program.
Gotcha.
So volunteered with Cheney, volunteered with Medical Lake just to stay in while I worked through things. Got a part-time job at AMR to help me while going through the testing process. And, you know, that was real eye-opening to me. I thought, get out of college, have your degrees, and you're going to get hired.
Yeah.
And one of the first tests I took was City of Spokane, and then I took City of Portland. I think City of Spokane was 1,500 people-ish for about 4 spots. And then Portland was over 6,000 people were testing, and there was 2 spots.
Seriously. What's I mean, would have never thought those numbers would have been 6,000 people that were trying to get in?
Yeah, Seattle, all those big departments. I mean, like some of the really big departments, I still see they post their testing. They'll have multiple sessions and hold it at like convention centers and all this stuff. Yeah.
I mean, that makes sense now that you say that, because Puget Sound was just here visiting our facility last week, and they were saying that they have guys from Hawaii, Texas, New York that are flying in for their shifts. So I can imagine it's the same way in Portland and those bigger cities. I'm sure the starting pay is just great.
Yeah, I mean, Pacific Northwest, they pay well in the fire service. I mean, I think that's one nice thing about living up here and where we work, let alone where we live, is beautiful. But yeah, it took me 38 tests to get hired.
38 tests?
Yeah.
Wow.
I wasn't the best test taker.
Is that a testament to how you test? Or
Yeah. No, I actually learned how to test finally, which was amazing. But
that sounds like me in high school. I was like 38 tests later, I'm still finally graduating. But
well, and the hard part is, you know, you're testing with that many people. And if you're not guys would get 105s, 110s because they give military preference points, which understandably wholeheartedly support. But even if you're a 94, they'd call you and be like, yeah, you didn't make the cut. And it's like, it's got pretty challenging towards the end. And so during that whole testing process, I made the decision to go to medic school. When I was working at AMR here in Spokane, they put out applications to go to medic school. So I signed up, got in. AMR paid for it, which was nice. I had to do a 2-year commitment after that. But that was an interesting time in my life. I was working because you had to be a full-time employee to get put through school. Well, school's 8 to 5.
Yep.
So I was working 5P to 5A and then going to school and then repeat. So it was long. Paramedic takes about 18 months to complete between school, didactic, and then your field internship. And so during that testing time, I was trying to get through medic school, which is not easy, not fun.
I can imagine.
Pretty big cram session to get it complete, but so.
Yeah, I can imagine that, and again, going back to that, having that time, there's also that time in life, I feel like, whether it's in business, whether it's going to college, whether it's going to the fire industry, whatever it is, like you have to have that time where it's a grind time in your life. Like you look back and you're like, how did I ever do that? I was working a day shift. I was working that night shift. I was working, 8 to 5, like you were saying, and you stacked everything on top of each other. It just makes you appreciate later in life that, okay, I actually went through the grind. You hear about those opportunities, and take the side rail for a second for like businesses. You hear about like the kid that takes over the dad's business or one out of the mom's business, and all of a sudden the business fails. It's because they've never had to go through that initial, like, this is what it takes, so that later you can appreciate that. So I'm sure during that time now you look back and you look for those guys who are maybe going through that same thing now, like, that guy's got what it takes. That's the dog I want.
100%. You can see it. Like, you can see the drive, the initiative. And, I always tell guys when they ask me, should I go to medic school? It's like, are you in a place to go to medic school? Because now they're doing it to where you can do these accelerated programs. And, it was because when I initially got hired at AMR, I said, I want to be a paramedic. I want to do more. Like, I've always been that guy that, like, I've always wanted to go to the next level. And, one of my buddies, one of my firemen on my shift, he's always said is like, I want to show up on scene and be able to be that person that provides everything and people aren't looking to for the answers. And I really took that to heart, and it's been good. And that grind was, I look back now and I'm glad I did it. I thought being a resident made me grow up pretty quick.
Yeah.
That made me grow up real quick because, I'm trying to maintain a job, trying to maintain grades, get through school, but for where I was as a paramedic, I give 100% credit to that AMR time. I saw more critical calls, traumas, and stuff, and it was that exposure that made me such a better paramedic, such a better provider. And then also I did a lot of precepting when I got hired at Northern Lakes. I did a lot of precepting of paramedics when they were new hires.
Yeah.
And, I'm super, super grateful for that experience.
And I'm sure, too, it's made you even a better father, even for that, too, man. I have your kids now, and it's just like you've realized now your parents are so hard on you. You can look back and say, I kind of understand it now when they had to go through it. But it just makes you be more like, hey, you don't understand this now, and I know school and all this stuff is tough, but it's like it's just you got to grind through it. And it kind of gives you that little bit of edge with your kids even. Which I do the same thing.
I'm sure you remember when you were a teenage kid, you're like, gosh, you're so hard. Why are you pushing? Why are you doing this?
Yep.
Why is everyone on my case? And it's like doing it with my kids now.
We're talking to you over there.
And making them realize these are life lessons that I look back and it's like, it was not fun at the time, but I'm glad I had those experiences.
For sure.
But,
For sure.
And then transition to getting hired I worked as a paramedic at AMR for 2 years. Then I ended up getting hired at Northern Lakes.
Nice. So looking back, I know you probably, and I'll put you on the spot here. Do you remember what your first call was when you were back there, or one of the first ones that was kind of that staple point for you?
At AMR?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a rollover. So I worked on the West Plains car. It's all changed now. But it was a dedicated ambulance from like Geiger 990 West.
Yeah.
I was with a old medic that came from LA. He was involved in the riots. I'd always try to keep him up and hear his life stories and like what LA was like. And some of their stories are wild.
I can imagine.
It was a rollover, one fatality, and then trauma activation. And I remember we load the patient up, they piled on the back, and I wasn't a medic yet, so I was driving. And the worst feeling is when you don't know where you are trying to get to the hospital. And that was a big lesson for me, is like, know where you're going before you leave, because it's never good when your medic in the back looks at you and is like, you took a wrong turn.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is a great first impression.
And was the person in the back like conscious understanding too? Like were they in a bad spot?
Yeah, they were not in a good spot.
Yeah,
luckily, it wasn't a horrible turn.
Yeah.
It just wasn't the most direct route.
Yeah.
And, talk to any medic or any EMT that's been involved in that, is like, I want to be at the hospital and I want to be there now. Like, so that was a good life lesson for me. And it's like, I know where I'm at.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, I really don't.
Well, I couldn't even imagine. I think about like situations that I've been in where there's an initial panic, and we talked about this with Justin too, but it's like in that situation, it's like on your first call, I'm sure like that, where like the heart's racing, you start realizing real quick that like cool, calm, and collective is probably, I wouldn't say like probably the most important, but probably one of the most important traits that you have to have as a firefighter is keep your wits.
I would say 100% being cool and collective it's amazing, because like you'll listen to the radio, and you'll hear those people that are panicky on the radio, and then you don't want to be that person. It was funny, we were doing some testing the other day, and we had a guy, and he was amped up. It was a 6-month test, and he was excited, and it was just like, you want to set the tone for the fire ground. If you have that tone, you don't want to set it for everyone else. And I know that Rusty and Justin hit on it, but I'll talk about it because I think it's like one of the most important things is pulling tapes. So we have the ability to, all of our operational channels we're on, they're recorded.
Yeah. So
you just email dispatch and they'll send you your tapes. It's like pulling the tapes and listening to yourself. Working with new officers coming up and they get their first fire, which you're right. They're stressed, and sitting down and listening to those tapes and walking through it. And I usually I know KCFR has a GoPro in their BC rig, and we're looking at going that route, but usually we have a phone mount, so I'll just start recording on my phone and park where I can see everything, and then being able to look at the video compared to the radio traffic. And it's like, I had to explain to some guys, it's like, this isn't me wanting to like say you screwed up or you missed this. It's like, this is how we get better. And I know you hit it. It's like watching film after a game. It's like, it's exactly what we're doing. What could we have done better? Could we have gone a different route on this structure fire? Could we made a different entrance? Looking at all the options, because at that moment you're so focused, you're not able to break it down at the same time. And so that's been, I have a new captain on my shift that just got promoted, and talking to him about it is like, this is the best way to do it. And guys, that we have workups, so when the captain's gone, a fireman or engineer steps into their spot, and if they get a good call, it's like, pull the tapes. You will learn so much. And there's been times that I've been like, oh, I missed this, I did this, and then you go listen to it, and it's like, actually, I did those two things, and I missed the thing I thought I did, and it just makes you better. And also hearing your voice and how you sound is huge, because in that moment, you don't want to be setting, I look at myself as the battalion chief. I don't want to get on scene and be panicky giving an update when we have a fire. And that sets the tone for everyone else. And it's like, we need to not set that tone. The classic saying, does a trash man get excited when he turns the corner and sees trash?
Yeah.
And it's like,
I haven't heard that.
We shouldn't turn the corner and panic.
Yeah.
Get ramped so far up that, you're talking super fast. And it's like, less is more in the fire service, in my opinion, when you're talking about communications, is be to the point, clear, in the direction you want. Because it's back in the day when I first went through, it's like, say everything you can on the radio. And it's like, to a point, yes, but I just need pertinent information. I don't need this long story to get two things out of it, because, with our new radios, you can't get on the channel unless it's open. So if someone's talking, and it's always what I've always said is like, don't give me this long story. What if someone's on the other end trying to get out that, they found a victim or they're having issues or whatever else? Give it out the pertinent information. And then let someone else as if they're having issues. So
there is, I can even think now, even on when I'm talking to like employees a little bit back and forth, I can think of like I'm talking to our engineer or somebody, and I've had conversations where like I'm saying stuff and I realize, am I just listening to myself? Do I like listening to myself talk? Because I'm just putting all of my thoughts out there. And then now everyone's taking these in and they're just trying to process them. It's like, I had to say one thing during that whole time. And I just said 100 things during that time. And I didn't need to say it. But it is interesting to me to go back and to hear all three of you now have said that. And even Kevin Shea hit on it too. It's that when you can go back and review what you're doing, it makes you so much better. Even on this podcast, like I've watched myself talk on the podcast and there's stuff I do like, why am I saying that or why am I doing that gesture? But being able to go back and relive those moments and watch yourself, as hard as it is for some people to listen to their own voice, which I know it is for some
terrible.
people. Yeah, it's just like, what do I sound like?
Yeah, and that's the thing is like, God, I thought my voice sounded so different, but I don't sound anything like I thought it sounded like.
Yeah, but when you go and do that, it makes it. You are able to learn so much from those situations because you're thinking things in your head, but then what's actually coming out are two different things completely. Because I mean, even right now when we do this podcast, I'm thinking things in my head of like, okay, I could talk about this, and I'm thinking those thoughts. So in my head, I'm processing all of those, but then I'm actually saying certain things. And so when I go back and watch it, like I thought these 17 other things, I said 3 of them. Why didn't I say these other things? And so going back and reviewing that, so I don't know how often people do that in the fire industry, but it seems to me like that would be huge, especially if you're trying to move up in the ranks, because that person who's probably cool, calm, and collective can get stuff clearly put out there as that person that you want in the Chief's rig.
Oh,
I would think.
For sure.
At least.
Yeah, that's my hope. Like, and it's just like, in our profession, not to sound cliche, but seconds really do matter. Mm-hmm. So if we can review a call we've had that, we can improve on things to improve those seconds. I mean, we're showing up on people's worst day.
Yeah.
And if we're truly, you have, victims or anything like that, those seconds matter.
Yeah.
And like our area, if we're not in the city of Hayden or the city of Rathdrum, mm-hmm. we're behind the ball before we even get paged out. Because there's spots in our district, it'll take 10, 12 minutes to get an engine there. Mm-hmm. So, you look at how fast fires burn now. We're 15, 18 minutes behind the ball. So when we're showing up is making sure we're ready to go to work and we know we have a plan. And to me, that's how you build your experience and that's how you build your crew. Like, because now I'm looking at it as going from the position of captain to battalion chief is when I was a captain, I was building my crew, my station. Those are my guys. That's what we're doing. Obviously, we're training as a department, but I can only control what I can control.
Yep.
And going from captain to battalion chief is now trying to get all 3 stations on the same page, doing the same thing, working towards that common goal of being those crews that show up and go straight to work. And, that's what better way to learn from listening to actual incidents. I can sit here and give you a scenario on a TV screen. We have the ability to do simulations. That's great. It's great practice. It's great place to find your way, if you will, if that makes sense. Like 100%. How you want to do a size up and how you want to manage. But using that real life stressor and coming back and listening to it, what better way of putting you in a position to realize what went good, what we could do better, and what should we work on as a crew.
Yeah. So then would you say that's the biggest challenge? I know, That brings up a good point I hadn't thought about before, too, is that so when you're a captain and you have your guys right there that you're helping out with, you move up to a battalion chief position, like you said, you a lot of times probably don't see a lot of those guys every day, I would assume, or maybe you do see a lot of them every day.
We're still small enough in the fact that we still train together every day. Each station, we try to do battalion trainings because, I mean, it's hard with call volume, and our training tower's like right in the middle of our district. So, of course, what happens, everyone shows up, and calls start popping. So it's tough.
It is tough, yeah.
Yeah, no, we see each other. We do a really good job of making sure we stay as a crew and get trainings. And, we have monthly trainings we've got to hit as companies, and we try to include as many of the engines and crews that we can. And, the hard part is getting the ambulance. So we run transport out of our department as those guys are so busy. Trying to get them out there and actually get them a good training session is difficult, but we got to make the priority to try to get them the training too. And it's just tough. I mean, our ambulances are slammed.
Do you guys have a training facility that you guys train on? Or do you guys use Coeur d'Alene's?
No, we have one. It's out at Coeur d'Alene Airport. It's been around quite a while. It's homemade cans. A lot of love, a lot of passion in it.
Yeah.
It started years ago. Coeur d'Alene Airport's been great. They've helped us, supported it. And yeah, it's old, but tell you what, she gets hot. got all the training props we need. Talking about getting a confidence course from you guys. We've ran 5 academies through it now. So,
That's great.
Yeah, it's fun. We had a local company donate some bunch of concrete work for us so we could have a pad, and so
that's good.
She's old, but
that's good, man.
She does it.
Yeah, as long as it's getting the job done.
Yeah.
So now looking back on your position, I've asked this everyone else too, is Battalion Chief what you thought it would be? And also with that question, was there another position looking back to, and it seems like captain's been the one that everyone says, but is there a position that to you most stands out from where you were before?
Yeah. So I'll go with a position first and then go to the battalion chief. So position-wise, I went from I was a fireman for 11 and a half years, promoted to engineer, and then promoted to captain, and then promoted to BC. I'm enjoying BC in the fact that it's different. I'll get into that more. But I would say an engine company officer is right up there.
Really?
And the reason I say that, it's not that I don't like being a BC, is I'll tell you the hard part for me right now is going from being tactically driven to strategically driven.
Yeah.
I still enjoy getting out there and doing the work, playing, doing the extrications, the fire calls. Like it's tough.
Yeah.
Sitting there running it, and that's your crew. Those are your guys. Like that's the tight knit. Not saying we're not tight knit, but when you're the captain of the station, it's so much fun. It's a blast. And riding the right seat. I mean, it's so much fun.
So after hearing that from all 3 of you now, or 4 guys I've had on here, does that change, you think, at all, the mentality of people wanting to like get up to battalion chief? Or do you think that, I mean, it's obviously the main driver, I'm sure, is obviously pay, but do you think that too many people overlook in the department, like being that captain? Or do you think that it's just one of those things, like if you're a pretty good captain, then you're going to get promoted?
Yeah, I'll say our situation was a little different. We didn't have a ton of eligible people for battalion chief. So I initially wasn't going to take the battalion chief test. I was so happy where I was at.
Yeah.
My battalion chief at the time talked to me. The other 2 that are the battalion chief, Jason and Eric, we all 3 talked because we were all happy where we were at. And we hadn't been there overly long.
Yeah.
And we were enjoying it, and we talked, and, we came to agreements as like, this is the next step to help take our department to where we need to go. And I'm glad we did it.
Yeah.
Like, we're young. So I'm 43. Jason's the same age as battalion chiefs, and we have young captains, and we have young engineers, young firemen. I mean, we have a 19-year-old on our shift that just got hired. And so, we're a young department, which is awesome, is, looking at the 3 of us talked, is affecting change and helping us grow and doing that. And, it's the guys below us that do all the work. They're the ones that put the time in, and they're the ones buying in and helping push us. I mean, our department is just right now just growing, which is awesome. And, it's cool to be part of. And, so 3 of us with another guy, we all made a pact to take it, and here we are. That
goes to show, though, the leadership ability and the reason why you have that job. Because when you're willing to be the person that says, I don't necessarily want to do this, but at the same time, it's for the betterment of the group and the guys I'm with, and even the same thing happens with your family as well, right? It's like, this is for the betterment of that. That is what shows true leadership. And I can tell from even the 3 guys we've had on here with you, Rusty, Justin, even Kevin Shea, like the people who have that mentality, you can tell you've got the right person. Because then you also have people who are just like, what, I'm trying to drive, I'm trying to get better, I want to take this position, I need this position, and they're just trying to get up there and up there and up there. It's like, look, the time's not right, maybe.
Yeah.
Focus on your craft, focus on what you're doing. It's like when a breakup happens between, it's like, did you break up? Are you trying to put full investment in getting back with this person? You're like, you know what? At the same time, I'm only talking about that because there's something like that going on with one of my kids right now. But with that being said, it's like, just hang up the phone, let the situation happen, and then things will happen the way they're supposed to happen. And so for the fact that you're able to do that, it shows a true leadership and why you got that position. So commends to you for that, man. That's huge.
It.
Which, you probably have those people in the back of your head right now too on your crews. You're like, that guy will make battalion chief one day. That guy will be, those people already in your head, I'm sure, as I say it. I'm not going to put you on the spot, but those people, and it's just like, the pecking order just happens.
But it's a valid point you bring up. Is like I can sit there and look at guys on my shift, and it's like, no man, I'm happy being a fireman. I love fighting fire. I'm happy being an engineer. I love driving. I love pumping. Like that's where my heart is at. And it's like, I respect that. That's where I was at with captain. Like I loved being a captain, but it's like, you have to understand that we need people to move up and do that. And I'm seeing traits in these guys that's like, yeah, man, let's train you up. Let's get you to where you need to be. Let's start practicing it. Let's, do you want to hop in the rig with me? What do you want to do? And it's like, that's the big thing is looking at the guys and gals below you and realizing what you have.
Yeah.
Like, it's easy. I will say the difference between battalion chief and captain is as a captain, you're, you're looking at your crew and seeing where everyone's at. And now I'm looking at 3 stations, 21 guys and gals and saying, wow, now I'm looking and I'm seeing different traits that I may have never seen because I was isolated to a firehouse. And now I'm seeing it as a group and it's like, okay, let's work on this. Like I see something, and I always want to push my crews to go to the next level. I understand being a senior fireman is probably the coolest job ever. Running fires, riding backwards, doing that thing. But like people have traits and abilities to take the department to the next best place that it can be. And right now we're growing so much and things are changing and our admin's pushing the department in the right way. And we've got the guys and the gals supporting that mission of changing and growing. And it's like, now's the time to do it. Be part of it. Learn from it. Because I didn't get a ton of ability in that time. We were a 2-station, 2 engines and an ambulance and a chase rig for probably 11 years of my career, 13 years of my career. That's all we were. Yeah. And then we started getting growth. And then we started realizing we can't run calls with this many calls with this little units, and then burnout's real. Yeah. And, it's nice now because we rotate guys from engine to ambulance. We're not, when I was back as a fireman, I knew when I showed up to work, I was on the ambulance or on the chase rig as a medic, and that was it. And now we've got it, and we were burning people out. It's real. I mean, when you're running burnout's 18 real. Calls in 24 hours and you're up, you only sleep for 2 hours. Yeah. Burnout's real.
It is. It is big. Even in the business industry too, man. Just like you do the same thing over and over. And that's why I tell people now, it's like, look, just take time. Go upstairs, hit on the golf simulator. Go play around at golf. You got to spend the time. You got to take the time. Take the time, because when you get into a situation, there's nothing worse in your everyday life. It's like you get in the same thing over and over. Have something to look forward to. Have a vacation to go do. Take your time off. Go do 100%. Those things. You're like, oh, well, it's going to just, and I encourage our guys, and we got, 30 employees here now. And it's like, just go. If you're here 52 weeks of the year, you're doing something wrong. Your number one priority is your family, everything else. Go enjoy that time. Take the time. Go do it. Because if not, you will burn out. And it sounds like that's a real thing for you guys too.
Well, and trying to juggle that on shift. I mean, we work 48 hours on. So we do 2 on, 4 off.
Oh, wow.
And so, whether you're an officer, BC, fireman, engineer, it doesn't matter what you are, is managing that time. It's like, in my position, I'm not up as much as they are, but it's like I also know we have stuff to get done. But, my captain has talked to me before. He's like, hey, we're going to take some time. And it's like, yep, you're right. I know. Because it's easy for me to get in. We got to get this done. And it's like, hey, they got smoked last night. And it's like, yeah, you're right. So that's a learning curve. I'm only 8 months into this spot. Yeah. And it's fresh. I've made my fair mistakes and, learning from them. But I have a good crews that are up front and honest. Like, that's the one thing I told them when I got the position, found out who all my officers were, is like, what I don't know, I don't know. Yeah. So if you're having issues or you don't like something, I need to know. Don't, come to me and let me know this isn't working. Yeah. Or this, and because that's the only way I can get better. And you're not going to hurt my feelings. Yep. But I know that happens a lot, but I'd rather know than not know. Yeah. And at least work on it. And I've also had to learn, there's going to be some decisions that aren't liked, but still have to make them. For sure. There's definitely been a transition. How about that?
That's a huge testament to a leadership skill, in my opinion, too, is that are you willing to want to get better? And if you're wanting to get better, then it takes understanding the truth. And so I told this when I first hired on, our guys are like, look, I want you guys to do a review of me. We do reviews, yearly. But it's like, I also want every single one of you, all 30, do a review of myself. And you say that because, and most people, well, why would you do that to yourself? It's like, because if I don't know and understand what you guys aren't liking or what I'm doing wrong, I don't know how to get better. And that is a testament of a leader, is when they can say to themselves, I don't care what feedback it is, I want to get better. And so I need the feedback. So that's huge that you're able to do that.
Yeah, and we do 360 evals. So it's full meal deal. Everyone has a say. And so it's like, I've told my captains I want you to go to the firemen and ask. I don't want just a 5s down the sheet, because if I get that, I know something's going on and we're not being truthful. I was like, please give me pointers. Like, and I don't want it to be just we're happy, everything's great. If there's something truly bothering the crews, let's just sit down and talk about it, because most time, let's be honest, everything we find out, it's miscommunication or a misunderstanding. And it's like, I'd rather fix that than have something festering in the background and, the typical griping and moaning. And it's like, let's just fix it so then we don't spread that toxicity.
Yeah, agreed. And I think too, and I think you're lying to yourself if you don't say this, but sometimes when you do get that feedback, it does sting. As much as you say it doesn't affect you, I know even for me, it does affect me a little bit. And I do that still. It's just like when you're dieting or you're doing whatever it is in life or working out or anything that's hard to do, you're like, oh God, this sucks, I'm just going to stop doing it. It's like, but if you're able to get those things and like, hey, they're saying I'm doing this bad, it stings for a second, but that's how you know you're growing. It's like when you're working out, man, you get to kind of that point where just like, I can't do anymore, I'll do one more. It's like, that's where your growth happens. And so I can tell you, I get some of these reviews back and I'm like, ooh, that hurts a little bit, but it's the truth and I have to be able to grow from it. And then do you keep doing it or do you stop? And those who probably keep doing it are the ones that continue to probably move up those ranks.
Right, so, and I actually enjoy getting them back because, no day is the same day for us. And I want to know where the crews are feeling comfortable, not comfortable, or where I can improve. Because, at the end of the day, on a fire or something, I'm ultimately responsible for them. And I want to make sure we're all comfortable with each other. I want to have those crews that trust me when I say do this or do that, or, but same going the other direction is if I say, hey, I want you, or they come back and say, I want to do this. And it's like, okay, but we've worked together. We trust each other. I'm going to trust you and that you know what you're doing and you feel comfortable doing it. Because there's that fine line of making that decision and being like, oh, shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, for sure.
I like it. I think it's good. I know some people don't like it, but what better way to grow and figure out where you're at in your career?
For sure. So thinking back, switching directions a little bit here. So thinking back on your career, we talked about your first call. Has there been a call that stood out either at battalion chief or captain or some call that you've been on that has just been like, you know what, this is a defining moment in my career, or this has changed my outlook, or just a call that was something that you think people would take something from or hearing something from?
That's a good question.
Yeah. And we can come back to that one as well. But
so we recently had a pretty significant trauma call. Guy fell off a roof, landed on rebar. And I had a mixed shift. I'd been a BC for maybe a month.
Yeah.
And so, and it's like when you have a mixed shift, you're always like trying to figure out who, what, where, how's everyone going to mesh together. And, we had 2 engines coming with multiple people from different shifts. And so we're driving up to it. I get a call from a medic calls me on the phone. He's like, hey, this is what I'm thinking. And I was like, okay. He's like, can you help me facilitate it? Trying to get a trauma doc out to the scene and do all this. And I was like, yeah, sounds great. I'll work on it. We're driving up there. So we get there. I get there first with the ambulance, and then the other 2 engines show up. And for me, realizing at that moment is like everyone's there for the purpose of the better of humans and the people that are calling us. I watched a mix. It was my shift with multiple different people from different shifts, and I watched it work like clockwork. It was flawless. Everyone was on the same page, had the same mission, had the same ideas. There was good communication. It was a call where there was a lot of things being bounced off, but people let people speak, then snap, made decisions, and then ultimately he's alive back at home, doing well for the situation he was in, which is unbelievable. Yeah. But sitting there and watching it unfold was pretty cool to see that our department's doing the right thing. Yeah. I just had people show up on this significant call, and everyone worked together. Yeah. And everyone was on the same page, and they all just meshed like it was our shift. And to me, that just shows testament to the people at our department. our training, our leadership. It shows that at the end of the day, we can razz each other for being on different shifts and everything else. But when you show up and you see that happen, from my perspective, it was probably one of the coolest things.
That is I get chills thinking about that, man, because there's something to be said for like when your kids do something, or like the shift or the firefighters or guys you've been training with, or things, the processes and the work that people get in, seeing it to come to fruition like that, and like in a moment where everyone's needed to be on their A game, even when it's not the perfect situation.
Yeah,
there's something about that just brings chills to myself even thinking about it, because it does. There's no way to explain that, about what it is. Even anyone there would have never known. You're just doing your thing. But when you see things just executed to perfection, that one gives me goosebumps.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
It was pretty cool because, I was new to the position and trying to figure it out. And I was driving back from the hospital and I was just like, I can't even pick this apart.
Yeah.
Like, couldn't even, because you can always find something to improve on. Yes, was there little things? 100%. Like, did I almost kneel in a burn pile? Yeah, I just didn't realize it. Situational awareness. But it was just like walking through the whole thing. And because one of our battalion chiefs, Eric, he was on overtime on the engine, and I even talked to him, and I was like, what can we improve on? This is like one of those calls that, and he's like, I agree. I mean, he's like, everything just meshed, and which is just, it's cool. It's just testament to what we're trying to do at North Lakes.
And the people that you have working there.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, that is cool. And that is I'll say, I've talked about it before on like the business side of things, but you get employees, and a lot of times some people can feel like inferior. Oh, I'm hiring someone who's really good and better at me than this. But it just brings more growth to the team as a whole. And so when you're able to accept those things and be like, this is the betterment of the whole group, that right there, and you can see and watch the people underneath you succeed because of the processes that have been a huge testament, obviously, to yourself and all the other beasts and whoever else is there too.
Well, it's funny you say that. So over our last 4 hirings, 4 or 5, we've hired guys from LA, Arizona, North Carolina, all different places. Like Hayden, Idaho, like that's, but man, the experience, the knowledge that they bring, and then meshing it all together with us, because that's a big transition going from LA City, not a small department, transitioning and meshing it into one, and what works for us is like, I love that experience because it just, you can be like, hey, have you ever seen this? Oh yeah, we've seen that. This is what we did. And it's like, perfect. It was like the other day, a while back, we had a bad wreck and we were working on getting the patient out. And one of my engineer, we were getting ready to lift the car, do all these different things, getting set up to get the patient out from it. And he's like, hey, give me just a second. And it was a couch. And so they held the patient and he just started working the cushion out from underneath her, which then allowed us to not have to do any of that.
Really?
Get the patient out. And it's like, great. That's the things I love, is like, I would have never thought of that. In that moment, I wasn't even thinking. I was like, all right, what are we doing to get this car to get up, lift it up, do everything else? And it was like that mindset of, let me stand back, take a look at this. And he was like, boom. And what would have taken us probably minutes took seconds. And off to the hospital we were. And it was like, all right.
That's cool,
the
man.
experience that we need. And like, I've been telling a bunch of people about this, because it's like, those are the things we need to pass on, to think about, to make us better at our job.
Yeah. You think about like back at school, you have like book smart people and then you have like street smart people. And there's nothing better than like get around a bunch of guys who are just street smart and that can who get things and understand things. You see it on construction sites. You see it in the fire industry. You see it when you're in the welding shop. Like, there's something about being around guys and gals who just think to themselves like, okay, they know a situation. They can read a room. They know what the right thing to do is. You can't put anything on that, man. That's huge.
Street smarts carries you a long ways in the fire service.
Yeah.
And you can see it on scene. I mean, you can tell who's had that street experience. I mean, that you can sit in a classroom and be told everything you want about fire service and everything, but until you get out in the streets and learn it and see how it really works, it's crazy the difference.
I saw it yesterday, and I'll say this on the last point here on this topic is that we had a crew out yesterday from Spokane, Ladder 14. I actually give a shout out to those guys. They had one of their firefighters out there, and this guy's from Brazil, man. And this guy was just like, he had that it factor. The same type of thing I feel whenever I get around, obviously, you, Rusty, Matt, you, Rusty, Justin, and Steve, is that you just feel that street smart in the room. And this guy yesterday kind of had that same type of feeling. He knew every situation. He was hitting every drill. We were doing a 3rd-story bailout. He was up on top. He was just doing the thing. Like, that guy's got the it factor. That's the guy that I want to see right there. And you can see it 100%, man.
Yep. It
Big
definitely
time.
stands out in the fireground.
It does. So transition a little bit. So you've been helping us out a little bit, obviously, on some of our videos that we've done at FDIC this year. I've brought this up to Rusty and Justin too. But obviously, tell me a little bit about what your thoughts have been on. You do feedback on Facebook videos, Instagram videos. We're getting all this stuff out there. You're at FDIC. You're doing bailouts. You get all the negative comments that come back from people in the industry. Hit on that just a little bit. What's been your thought on that?
So initially, I mean, obviously, I'm not as exposed as Steve and Justin.
Yeah.
But me personally, it doesn't bug me.
Yeah.
I know there's going to be the keyboard warriors. There's going to be whatever name you want to call them.
Mm-hmm.
For example, the FDIC one where we got lit up for having the ladder tied off is, to me, is like, obviously they don't understand the setting we're in.
Yeah.
Right? Like, we're not going to go do a training on plastic flooring that's a demonstration to hurt a guy. Like that, we were setting ourselves up for success. We have to train safely when we're in those situations. And I wouldn't even, yes, it was a training, but to me that was more of a demonstration. Right? And it is funny. Like, there's times I go to the comments and it's like, wow. Like, really, that's what we're taking out of this? Whether it's your videos or other fires. And it's like, at the end of the day, what we have to, I realize, is that's a short clip of a large video, if you will. The scene, whatever you want to call it, is like, can you learn things? 100%. But at the same time, is you don't know the whole story. Yeah. Like, if they knew about FDIC, did they know we were on plastic tile floors? That ladder would have shot out instantly with us bailing out on it. And it's, were we tired? Was my arm bruised? Yeah, we slowed down. We made it a little more, but we're also not there to hurt ourselves. Yeah. We're not. And, I take it with a grain of salt. I mean, we have North Idaho news over which is great, but you see all the comments on there and it's like, you got to realize it's a short clip of a bigger scene. And so it's, there's a lot of training videos out there that guys love to get on there and comment on. And it's like, well, first of all, good for that department putting themselves out there for other people to learn off of. And why don't you take that clip and go make your crews better, your shift better, and like learn from it? Like, I appreciate departments that put their stuff out there. There's a lot of departments that put a lot out there that's like, man, wow, I can't believe you put that out there. But hey, guess what? I can learn from it. Our crews can learn from it. And that's just making the fire service better. I try not to get in the weeds with it. It just makes me mad. And I got mad initially, and Rusty and I were texting, and it was just like, at the end of the day, it is what it is. It's someone that's not going to come say it to you, or they don't understand the whole setting. It's like, let's just take this stuff and be better people. Better firemen.
Well, it's like seeing someone who's like out of shape, like out running. And like you drive past, like, there's two thoughts you can have. Like, oh man, that person's out. Like, why they shouldn't be. It's kind of like to make fun of the situation. Or you say, you know what, good for that person who's out there doing it, right? And I'm not saying that was the same situation. I'm saying you don't know what the situation is when you're looking at the situation. You have zero idea. And also to go back to the FDIC thing too. And I like obviously giving you guys a chance to be able to give yourself some backing on that, but. It's like, not only that, but you're on tile floor, and some people may say, oh, well, you got to train for doing that too. But that wasn't the training. It was showing an auto belay system and how it works when you fall off a ladder. It shows you how, if you were to fall off during training, how does it help you train better, right? And so being able to tie off the ladder and stuff, that's not part of the training whatsoever. The training there is no training. It's a demonstration. And so also with that too, I think back, and it's like I found myself, from watching video, I watched myself and I was like, oh, everyone says negative comments. Not everyone was. That's a comment that I should take back too. It's that 99% of the people who are watching this are taking something from it. You know, if you get 100,000 views on it and then you have, let's say, 1,000 or 500, that's a small minute of people maybe who are responding and saying it's a bad thing. So that's also on me that, you know, not everyone's saying it's bad. Most people are watching it, understanding what it is. And you have a small group of people who then come in and want to comment on something too.
I think for you, exactly what you're saying is like you look at the car into the building and how many views that got and how many good comments. And like that car in the building is a huge video and it's really triggered a lot of conversation and trainings, I'm sure. But we're letting these little minute comments outweigh what is truly the best. And it's like, you know, it's like I've tried to say is let's take the good.
Yeah.
Let's not go down the road of that. And it's just like at the end of the day, we're here putting stuff out to help departments. And, you know, like Justin talked about the Clearwater Academy. I 100% agree on that. Clearwater Academy, you go down there and all they want to do is fireman stuff. They want to train. They just absorb it. And it's so cool to see. Like, you know, because it's a lot of small departments that Justin brought it up. May have one guy show up on a structure fire for a while. And it's like, I can't even wrap my head around that.
Yeah.
And it's just like, that's the people that are enjoying these and making the best of it.
For sure. No, we appreciate the hell out of you guys being able to do that stuff for us too. And I know True Blue also does as well. Shout out to True Blue on that stuff too, who's here also for our open house and for the training. And they've been doing a great job, man. Their systems are fantastic and are helping the training industry a lot.
I was impressed.
Yeah.
This is my first time. Thanks for having me. It was a blast. I mean, it was cool to see how your company works and how everything, how you guys set up and, you know, quality of your product and walking around FDIC but yeah, True Blue, that was a pretty cool system. I'd heard of it. I just had never used it until that day, and we got to use it a lot that day.
That was fun. It was fun having you out there with us too. They have, and they were here obviously, and the guys that were here from Spokane even were like, man, this is a pretty cool little system. It is cool. It's pretty cool to be able to. I am half tempted to like go out one of the third story windows, and every time I do it, even at the rock climbing gyms, when I see them, I'm just like, I can never let go when I'm at the top. You always have that initial like, and then you let go, and it's just like, okay, it got me. I'm good. But it's a cool thing.
And what's cool about it is it's a quick setup, so you can go out to the tower and do a 30-minute training.
Yeah.
You know, you're not setting up a full belay system, getting all this other stuff set up. Like if you're on a time crunch, it's pretty cool to be able to just click that into your tower and have that ability to quickly do that training and have that safety line on you. So I thought it was pretty cool. It was fun.
Yeah. Shifting gears again real quick. So personal life, I mean, family, you guys, hobbies outside of this. What are things that you're doing right now? So you have a couple daughters?
Yep. So I have two daughters, Riley and Allie. Allie's 11, Riley's 14. My wife, Kelly, she's interior designer in Coeur d'Alene.
Oh, cool.
She's the rock of our family. She holds this place together with my schedule and everything else. She's a saint.
Yeah.
But right now our life is travel sports.
Yeah.
Both my girls play club sports, basketball, soccer.
Fun.
So we're right in the midst of that, and that is extremely time consuming.
Yeah.
We talked club soccer.
Yeah.
That's a big one. My oldest, Riley, she plays travel basketball. So next month we're headed to Louisville, Kentucky.
Nice, man.
And Hamilton, Ohio.
That'll be fun.
Yeah. So that's what we do right now. We like to go on the lake. I mean, we love big boating people.
Nice.
But right now our life is supporting our kids and their dreams and their hopes, and
that's fun.
Playing sport. Oh, it's a lot, but at the end of the day, when you look back, these are the memories we're making.
For sure.
You know, and so
it's nice of you too to give a good shout out to your wife, because I think Justin failed to do that on his part and he got some flack for that. So, but it's good for you to do that, man. So my wife keeps the chaos together. I mean, it's interior designer in Coeur d'Alene. That's got to be. She's probably got some. There's some money out there, man.
Yeah, so
she does some fun
she
stuff.
works for Timber Ridge Homes. She's an interior designer, works 3 days a week for them. They allow, when I'm on shift, to manage the sports schedule.
That's cool.
But great company. They support her and let her do her thing. But yeah, it's fun.
Good,
so
man.
Ready for summer on the lake.
Tell me about it. This is my best. Everyone's always like, where are you going for the summer? I was like, where would I go? It's not the best spot. I mean, we've got, and I don't think most people know this about our area, but like Coeur d'Alene, I mean, if you go out to Gazer Ranch, man, it's like in North Idaho here, the name dropping that's out there when you have like Justin Bieber out there and you've got the Kardashians out there and Gretzky, Wilbur. Yeah, there's like everybody's out there.
If you're ever bored and over in Coeur d'Alene in the summertime, go check out the planes sitting at Coeur d'Alene Airport.
Yeah, I'll bet.
impressive.
Is it just like stacked up?
It's all private Lear jets.
And I had no idea that Coeur d'Alene Airport had jets flying in there. When I was working out that way, I didn't know there was jets flying in. And then I heard about, I was like, seriously, I couldn't imagine though.
Yeah, so there's a lot. And they actually just put a tower in out at Coeur d'Alene because it's so busy between the privates and the fire and everything else, which has been good for us. We're getting a lot of airport training, which is good because Coeur d'Alene Airport, those employees are phenomenal because the employees of Coeur d'Alene Airport are already also the ARF trained, so they're all firemen.
Got it.
So it's been a cool partnership.
That is cool.
Yeah.
So we'll end with this. Next for you, what's next in the fire industry right now? Are you happy where you're at? Want to be where you're at?
Staying put.
Yeah.
I'm going to grow where I'm at, keep learning. You know, I got roughly 9-10 years left and no plans to go any further.
That's great, man. Any side hustles that you're working on right now? I know you're helping Second Due out right now too.
Second Due, working with you guys, and really my job is full-time dad.
That's great, man.
To my girls. So
great. I want to end with, you got some stuff in the background here. Talk me through what you got back here.
Yeah, so talking about a captain. That's probably my favorite helmet ever.
Yep.
Guys asked me if I was going to get it painted white when I got promoted. I said I just can't paint that one.
Yep.
That flag there was so I know we talked about Welch. So at our tower, we run an American flag, and then we started running the fireman flag during our academies. Mm-hmm. So I got that one after one of the academies I've taught, so that one means quite a bit to me. Mm-hmm. And then my family and support system.
Right on, man. Yeah. Well, hey, we appreciate the heck out of what you've done for our family. Appreciate what you're doing for the city, obviously the city town of Northern Lakes. And all in all, it's great to have you on. And anytime you want to come back on, man, I'd love to have you.
Thanks for having me.
So appreciate you, man. Yep.